Welcome to this explainer. Look, as data professionals, we both know raw tables are rarely ready to use right out of the box. So today, we're skipping the basics and diving deep into the data factory to learn the exact mechanics of bringing absolute order to raw, chaotic information. Let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? Staring down endless rows of messy employee data, hundreds, maybe thousands of names, ages, and salaries just staring back at you. To actually make sense of it, we need tools that act like an assembly line. We need to grab that chaos, bundle it up, figure out the math, and organize it so it makes perfect sense to whoever's reading the final report.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the mechanics of grouping, the grouping error trap, unleashing aggregate functions, sorting with order by, and finally, advanced sorting techniques.
Starting with Section 1, the mechanics of grouping, or bundling the chaos. Think of the group by clause as your ultimate bundler. When you run this command, it sweeps through your entire table, hunting for identical items in a specific column to package together. If it sees the same value repeated, it grabs them all and prepares them for the next stage of our assembly line. What it's doing behind the scenes is mechanically brilliant. It literally rolls up those duplicate values into single rows. Say we group an employee demographics table by gender. The database physically rolls up all those individual people into just two neat rows, representing those core categories. In the raw data, multiple rows for male and female employees are totally scattered. But execute group by, boom, it shrinks right down. All the males are rolled into one row, and all the females are rolled into another. It's clean, efficient, and sets our data up perfectly for analysis. Moving on to Section 2, the grouping error trap. Time to talk about the database rules. Ah, yes, this classic morning. We've literally all seen it. You try to select a first name, but you only group the table by gender. The database engine, which is, let's face it, a massive stickler for the rules, will throw this error and stop dead in its tracks. You simply have to respect the strict logic here. Grouping physically squishes the data down. You just can't ask the database to display dozens of unique first names on a single rolled-up gender row. How would it even know which name to pick? Since those individual names are hidden inside the rolled-up bundles, any column you select that isn't performing math must match the column you are grouping by. Which brings us to Section 3, unleashing aggregate functions and the power of math. Once our data is successfully bundled by gender, we can finally apply aggregate functions to extract actual business insights. Sure, the raw rows are gone, but the data inside them is still totally accessible through math. And we can run multiple functions at the exact same time across our new groups. Take the average function. We can instantly calculate the average age of all the distinct people rolled up inside the female category, and then immediately do the same for the male category. And we certainly don't stop there. Slap on the max function, and we can easily spot the absolute oldest employee hidden within each bundled group. Flip that around with the min function, and we find the youngest. Simple as that. Finally, using count, we can see exactly how many individual employees are actually inside each of those rolled-up gender categories. In just one query, we've pulled massive insights out of pure chaos. Next up is Section 4, sorting with order by, where we stack the results. We have all these amazing insights, but they might be completely out of sequence. If group by bundles the data, the order by clause acts as our factory dispatcher. It takes those finished bundles and neatly stacks them up for final delivery. It's super customizable. By default, ordering by a character column like a first name sweeps from smallest to largest, so A to Z. But just tack on DESC to the end of your command, it completely reverses that flow, ordering your results from Z to A, or largest to smallest. Finally, Section 5, advanced sorting techniques. Let's look at multi-level stacking. Sometimes one rule just isn't enough. What if we type order by gender, age, DESC? Well, the database acts sequentially. First, it sorts everything entirely by gender. Then, within those specific gender groups, it applies the descending order condition exclusively to the age. It's a sort within a sort, giving you incredible control over your output. Now, I do have to point out this little trick. You can actually use column position numbers instead of typing out the names, like order by 5, 4. But big word of warning here, while it works perfectly, it's considered a highly lazy habit by database pros and is definitely discouraged. If someone adds a new column to your query later, those numbers will point to the wrong data, and your perfectly stacked results will turn right back into chaos. These two foundational commands are the absolute bedrock of modern data-driven decision-making. They're how we turn noise into real signals. So, armed with the mechanics of grouping, the power of math, and the precision of sorting, what hidden insights are sitting in your own chaotic datasets right now, just waiting to be bundled? Get out there and start building your own data factory.